Hi, Cassie. How's your evening going?
It's going great, King. How's yours?
Going good so far. We had a tornado touchdown in my area today. It is 7:42 Eastern time now, and I haven't had power since 7 o'clock this morning.
Oh no.
So this is a little bit different here in Maryland because I moved here from Kansas, also known as Tornado Alley.
Right.
You'd have a touchdown in Kansas, and people would be outside driving still. So here
Wow.
things seem to operate get a little bit different.
Yes. Wow.
You have an interesting story to me. I understand that you are a ball player. Is that correct?
Yes, I am an ex-ball player. I played D1 at Mount St. Mary's University, and then I continued to play college basketball in Canada for a total of 4 years, on and off. I ended up signing a professional contract to go play in Tasmania, Australia, but then I tore my ACL 8 days after I signed my contract to go and play. So unfortunately, I have not been able to play since until last weekend. So it's been about 3 years since I tore it.
All right. Let's start from the beginning.
Okay.
How long have you been playing basketball?
I have been around the sport since I was about 3 years old. I grew up with a pool in my backyard. I had a Little Tykes basketball hoop that my parents put inside of the pool. And that's about my farthest memory that I can remember it. My dad is like a basketball guru. Like, he is obsessed. He could name, you could say what happened in 1964 when Larry Bird shot this shot, who got the rebound. My dad would know it. So I'm definitely basketball affiliated.
All right. So growing up, pretty much playing your entire life, at what point did you or other people around you realize Cassie's good?
I would say maybe about, I started playing a year up when I was about 8 years old. I honestly cannot even answer why I even did that, but I've always been fairly athletic. I was a two-sport athlete. I played soccer and basketball. Basketball just more so had the scholarships for me, but I'd say maybe about 13, 14 is when I really started getting acknowledgement for it on a bigger scale.
What factors led you into choosing the Mount coming out of high school?
So I always knew that I wanted to have basketball be my career. So I had a bunch of schools looking at me to play both sports. Mount St. Mary's actually offered me to be allowed to play both. But going into my collegiate career, I actually signed to go play at Rhode Island because that seemed like the best fit for me to get maximum amount of playing time as well as being fairly well connected. I went on a college visit to there and I loved Rhode Island, but this happens in sports a lot. The coach ended up going somewhere else, and there was a new coach that came in because they were not familiar with me. They ended up bringing in their own recruits because with college sports, they only get so much money for scholarships in order to have people come, and I wasn't on their radar. So I ended up losing my scholarship to go there, and I didn't end up signing to go to the Mount until the second semester of Mount St. Mary's.
All right. Now, what position is it that you play on the basketball court?
So I think that I am better at the one because I understand the pace of the game. And I also know how to kind of I played soccer my whole life, right? So soccer is 90 minutes. And I know who's tired, who is performing well, who's not, what we are missing and whatnot. So I like to play the one. Also, about 25 points a game my second year of college. So I really played the two guard when I was there, but I prefer to play the one.
Okay. All right. So for those of us who are uninitiated in basketball terms,
Yeah.
correct me if I'm wrong here. One's the point guard, two's the shooting guard.
Yes, sir.
All right. All right. Good deal. Good deal. You're in college and the level of play is definitely higher than it is in the prep school. Did you ever have a moment in college where you were like, okay, whoa, this is definitely, the big leagues?
My coach told me when I went to Canada, he made a Kobe offense. It's called the triangle offense that the Lakers used to run for Kobe. And he literally told me, pull me to the side. I was the number one leading scorer in the entire country at the time. And my coach pulled me to the side. We were about to play a game against the number 2 leading scorer. Her and I actually flip-flop every week, but I ended up finishing number 1 by the end of the season. But we were about to play against them, and he pulled me to the side, and he said, I don't care if you shoot 35 shots this game, you need to have this amount of points. And that kind of just hit me like, wow, like I don't go into a game looking to be selfish. Like, that's just not my style. I like to win, and I'm a real life team player in every aspect of my life. But at that point, when that pressure was put on me, that's when I really realized the gift that I had and that other people saw in me too.
At what point in college did somebody either tell you or you recognize that you can play professionally?
I think because I played in Canada, I got to see a different style. American sports are very, very fast paced. We have a lot of natural born athletes here. In other countries, they don't necessarily have that. They have a lot of fundamentally skilled people. And once I started playing on the European style, and also in America, we have a 30-second shot clock. In Canada, they have the 24-second, which is the equivalent to the FIBA rules, which is the European League, called FIBA. They have the same kind of playing style as Canada as far as the athletes and the rules. So I think that once I got there, I really, really saw that I was really stepping into what I wanted my future career to be.
You finished out at the college level, you signed your professional contract, and you tore one ACL or both ACLs?
I only tore one, but I had to get 2 surgeries done for it because I have too much cartilage inside my body. What I think tried to happen was my body tried to recreate a new ACL for me. So I tore it in March 2017. In April 2017, I went under for my first surgery. My doctor put me under it's a 2-hour and 45-minute surgery. I was under for an hour and a half, and then he took me out an hour and 15 minutes early because I didn't have enough flexion. Basically, if you're sitting down on a couch and your knees are completely bent, I should be able to put my legs straight forward out completely at a 90-degree angle. I wasn't able to do that. So he took me out of the surgery, and I didn't actually have a successful surgery until October 2017.
How devastating was that for you?
I cannot even explain the mental. I had only been hurt one time. Well, I'd say 2 times ever before that, but I was out for a month for both of those injuries. So I actually tore my meniscus too. I think that my meniscus partially started to tear when I was in high school, and they misdiagnosed it. So when I did get my actual ACL injury, I can't even explain the feeling of it. The last thing I remember from when I tore it was I went up for a layup. It was the first 4 minutes of our first game we had that weekend. We had 3 games that weekend, and then I was on my way to Australia. But I remember I laid down, and when I closed my eyes, I could see in my head, it was like smoke, and I could just see the Australia I could see it in smoke, and I just saw Australia starting to fade away. So I can't even explain the emotional toll that took on me, because I had worked my entire life in order to obtain, and it was never that I wasn't good enough. It was just as far as I could have been connected to get to that next level. I didn't go to a big D1 school, and that's the people that they're looking. And Steph Curry is a good example of that, because he didn't go to a big school, but he was so good that he eventually got the clout that he needed in order to get that opportunity. It's way different for girl sports. We don't have the opportunity to get seen on that level unless you go to a big school. So the fact that I finally completed what my dream was without going on the main route of playing at a big D1 by choice, it was devastating. I still can't believe that it happened to this day.
Who was your support system as you had your injury happen and made it through the transition of, okay, what's next?
I'm going to arrogantly say this was myself. And I say that because during that time of bed rest, I had to literally come up with a way in order to stay connected to basketball, which ended up being my Girl Power Mermaid basketball sports apparel brand. So I'd say really it's a mental game fighting yourself. It's telling yourself you have to get up, and something as simple as showering. I actually got a hairline fracture when I fell from my ACL injury. I slammed my arms on the ground, and I couldn't even tie my hair into a ponytail. So imagine when you go to get in the shower, mind you, I have an injury. I should have been able to press down on the bath in order to get in the shower, but I couldn't even do that because I had a fracture in both of my palms.
Mm.
So, yes. So, and also when you're getting into the shower, you have to push off of one leg to put your leg up and then use your other one to get you into the, it's just so much. Or even just something as small as using the bathroom. I was on bed rest for a year and I was on crutches for a year and a half. So other stuff like that, it really takes a toll on everything that has to do with your life. I couldn't drive. It was my right knee. I couldn't even drive myself to go anywhere.
So you're still around the game, and that tells me a lot. That tells me that you have a passion for the sport and also wanting to, be an ambassador for other people. Tell me a little bit more about your brand, and what you're doing in the sport now.
So my brand was created because I have always been a girly girl, but I also have that tomboy swag to me. I just said in the presentation that I did today, wearing a normal bra is like a job for me. I love sports bras, spandex, sweatpants, anything that's comfortable, but I also love eyelashes, lipstick, foundation, having my nails done, stuff like that. So when I started doing basketball training after I got off of bed rest, I noticed that a lot of guys that did it in this industry always have something that's really harsh, or like a shark or a bulldog, something that is very masculine. And there was really nothing for the females to really stand out. So it started with just I had dyed my hair orange and I wear glitter a lot. So people started telling me I remind them of a mermaid. So I'm like, what the heck can I do with a mermaid in order to push myself through? So I ended up putting a mermaid with a basketball on a t-shirt just for my own self. And then I ended up turning it into the word girl power, but a mermaid replaces the P. And people constantly were asking to buy it from me. And here I am today in my May will be my second year of being in sales for having my girl power apparel.
Okay, that's nice. That's awesome. Where can people find your brand at?
So if they want to see my actual basketball training, they can follow Mermaid Basketball Drills. But if they would like to buy the apparel, it's in my bio at Mermaid Basketball.
Is your training tailored to a specific audience?
So I actually offer ACL prevention, but I really do more so skill training as far as dribbling. A lot of coaches tell people how to shoot a certain way, but I don't care if you shoot from between your legs. As long as your follow through goes to a certain way, then you can be successful. Nobody can tell you how to do you or how to maneuver your body to do something. And people spend more time focusing on the wrong things when it comes to the sport. A sport, it's like a survival skill. If there was a plane that crashed in a jungle and you're with a bunch of people, there's not necessarily a certain protocol that's going to allow you to survive doing it. And it's the same thing with the sport. As long as you understand the basics and the concepts and why you need to do something, you can be successful. And that's something that I really try to embrace in my training.
So everybody's journey is unique.
Yes.
What advice would you have for somebody that gets to a certain destination in life and hit that major setback like you had in yours?
So the quote that that has stuck out in my head since I got hurt is obstacles are optical illusions. Don't quit before the miracle, keep striving. And the obstacles are optical illusions because I believe in God, and I had to literally put my tears to the side and put my faith in front of me that I don't know why he took my dream away from me days before I was going, but I have also gotten to affect a lot of little girls. My target market really is 12 and under for my brand. And then also a lot of grandmothers and mothers because they can't always reach the youth because it's firsthand coming from them. And kids don't necessarily want to hear that. So I would say anybody that's going through a life change, whether a parent died or they lost their job, their major career, do not quit before the miracle, because you do not know what's coming for you. You just literally have to step in faith.
Awesome. Well, hey, Cassie, thank you for sharing your journey with me. I'm pretty sure that someone who hears this can draw some type of inspiration from, you just being open and sharing your story.
Thank you so much, King. I appreciate it.